you had conducted.
श्रीकांतो मातलोस जन्निसद मंगलादिनकः शंकरो महादेवः त्वं वन्दे गजाननं विमलपटी कमलपुटी पुस्तकरुद्राक्षसहस्रहस्तपुटी कामाक्षी पक्ष्मलाक्षी गलितविपञ्ची विभासि वारिञ्ची मनोजवं मारुतुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं मानवेतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। शिवशक्त्यायुक्तो यदि भवति शक्तिप्रभवितुं न चेदेवं देवो न खलु कुशलस्पन्दितुमिव तस्त्वामाराध्यां हरिहरविरिञ्चादिभिर्विपणन्तं स्तोतुं वा कथमकृतपुण्यप्रभवति। तनीयां सुम्पांसुं तव चरणपङ्केरुवं विरञ्चे सञ्चिनुं व्रजत् लोकानां क्लान्वात्यनं शौर्यकदमपसाश्रयसरसां हरःसंक्षुद्धेनं भक्तिबस्तोद्धूलनविधिम् अविद्यानामन्तस्तिमिरमिहिरद्वीपनगरजडानां चैतन्यस्तबकमकरन्दश्रुत्यदरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिकाजन्मजरतो निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रामुररिपुवराहस्य भवति. So, in the continued efforts that are being allowed by the Divine Mother on the path of Soundarya Lahari, today we'll discuss the 90th and 91st slokam, which are to do with Mother's feet, and they also reveal a very secretive meditative method. So when we were learning the Ananda Kriya, when we were learning about dhyana prakriyas and meditation, we learned about various steps. There are 152 steps in a book called Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. When Bhairava and Bhairavi sat together, which is none other than our divine parents, Mother asked, people keep talking about Antarmukha Samaradhya, Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. How can one realize that Antarmukhatvam? And Bhairava, Shiva, because he is Ishanam, Sarvavidyanam, Ishwaram, Sarvabhutanam, Brahmadipati, Brahmanodipati, Brahma, Shivome, Astu Sada Shivom. In you and I, that Ishvara, Ishanam Sarvavidyanam, Ishwaram Sarvabhutanam is going inward as prana and ensuring the soul is connected to the body. So you and I have the karma adhikaram to do rituals. When we do rituals, it will help us become spiritual. So going from the external to internalizing or internal world is what we call Antarmukha Samaradhya, Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. You can go to all the temples, you can go to other planets, but you will never find the divine externally as you will find the divine inward. You will go to a temple. I'm not saying you should not go. You should go to those places. The places of worship, which are like, the electric transformers, they'll transform the high energy that we will not be able to receive and supply it. Just like a step down electrical transformer steps, reduces the voltage from 440 volts to 220 to 240 volts. So the appliances at the home can work properly without burning them up. Okay, if the high voltage comes, the appliances will get burnt out. Now, same thing happens with us. We cannot directly pray to the mother. That is the reason you have mantram, yantram, and then tantram. How does this translate? Mantram, okay, can mean a nama that you are continuing to do. What is mantram? Manat iti mantraha. That which your will, your manasu continues to grasp onto is become mantram. Yantram. Yantram is a symmetrical geometry in which this mantra will continue to reverberate. What is a symmetrical geometry? The symmetrical geometry is nothing but your body and my body. Basing on which mantra we are invoking, we should use that geometry in our body to empower and energize that mantra. What do I mean? If I am wanting to meditate, for example, on, let's say, the Gayatri mantra that everybody knows, the 24 aksharas, bijaksharas that are there. Or very simply, if I want to learn on Rama, the Tarak Namam, okay? Om Namo Narayana, yeah? From that, Ra has been picked up. From Om Namah Shivaya, Ma has been picked up. Therefore, Rama continues to be a Taraka mantra in Advaita, bringing in the Siva Kesavas together, okay, without really showing a difference. Now, how do you bring in the symmetrical geometry first? You sit in a comfortable position. When you sit in a comfortable position on a chair, on an asanam, or on the ground with your legs crossed, naturally your body takes the shape of a pyramid. When the pyramid shape is assumed by the body, it becomes an yantra in the 3 dimensions. So the energy, and you are sitting upright. So the cosmic energy now starts channelized. That's the reason when you meditate under a pyramid, there is a pyramid meditation that has been popularized by some saints, but it's not safe for everyone to do because it forcefully awakens the Kundalini. And therefore, there will be a lot of side effects that one has to live with if you forcefully awaken Kundalini. It has to happen naturally. Now, when you are sitting and chanting, Ram, 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 any mantra will generally have 3 to 4 gears that you can put it in. When you say the name itself, it is the 0 to 1, the first gear, where the vehicle is in complete rest, you are bringing it to first gear. So the vehicle starts moving. Ram. The moment you attach Namaha, Sree Rama Namaha, it goes on to second gear. Sree Rama Namaha, Sree Rama Namaha. Along with Shakti, we are attaching. Okay, Shiva, Namah Shiva. Okay, for example. Then, when you attach Swaha to it, it goes to the third grade. Sri Rama Namah Swaha, Sri Rama Namah Swaha, Sri Rama Namah Swaha. The third gear, when you have to go to the third gear, is when you add Fat Swaha. Okay, Sri Rama Nama Fat Swaha. These are very powerful. When you add Fat Swaha and others, you should not just do to experiment them, right? You should basically do only when your guru advises you to do. The fourth one, we will leave it. That's not recommended for this class. But once you get to the third gear, you will know the Fat Swaha. You will know the Nama mantra, how the mantra goes through different grades. Why is a mantra important? Just like, when you are befriending a person, the first time somebody introduces you to a person, you probably like him or her, and you start spending more time with them, have, a coffee date, go on a play date, whatever it is, basically take time to spend time with them. And then you will start enjoying their company. That is the reason. If you're coming to these classes, you enjoy the company of the divine, the Satsangatyam. That's the reason you are here. Tell me your friends, I'll tell you what you are. So when you basically befriend a person, you like something about them, you like something about what they are all about, and their whole presence gives you an element of calmness, gives you an element of sense of purpose, gives you an element of I am making good use of my time. Okay? Whether you love their company, whether you love their knowledge, whether you love their empowerment, whether you love their positivity. Yeah? Similarly, when a mantra is given by a guru introduces us to the mantra. But when the mantra becomes a mitra to us, okay, and that mitra should be sumitra. So we should keep enjoying the company of that mantra like a great good friend will. And every time we are invoking the mantra, we are chanting those names. Mantra again is something that your will continues to repeat. Kamala, Ekarasa, Ishvara, Vallabha is also a mantra. All the 15 names. Okay. When that becomes a friend, you will start going into more and more purposeful isolation, not loneliness. People on spiritual path would want to spend time alone. That means they're not lonely, they are in the company of the divine. And you will see anybody who's in the path of spirituality would want to talk less, would want to spend alone, because they are constantly chanting the mantra or recalling some of the stories of the divine. And therefore, they continue to progress in their life, materially, spiritually, and beyond the Janma. That's the essence of the 90th and 91st sloka, which will introduce us to a very secretive form of meditation from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra of the 152 methods that Bhairava has given to Bhairavi. Vijnana is the science. Okay? When you know how to use the mantra on the yantra, that is the tantra. So tantra is the science of applying the mantra on the yantra. Just like the example I keep giving all the time, when you know which button to press on the remote to get the required or desired outcome on the television, that is the tantra of the remote, TV remote. Similarly, when you know how to operate the mantra inside your body, with the different gates that I have mentioned, you don't have to learn them purposefully to progress through. When you start progressing, these mantras, these next steps will come to you naturally. If they don't come, doesn't mean you're not progressing as well. You probably are driving an automatic car which does not even have a gear, and directly you go into a driver mode and drive mode, and it gets going. So when you focus on bhakti, all the gears will be wiped out as well. So there are different vehicles like automatic, electric, stick shift, or the gear. So based on which vehicle we are sitting in, we have to start choosing to drive that vehicle accordingly. Okay, just because I said mantram name, Namaha, Swaha, Fat Swaha doesn't mean we need to go. That's one way of getting there. Okay. Knowing these multiple ways is the Vijnanam that Bhairava has given. Whatever is applicable to us, whatever will help us spiritually progress, is what Mother will send it through her Guru Mandala Rupini to us. So we'll have a lot of gurus. If you see, we have a Bhukti Guru, Mukti Guru, a Nishiddha Guru, a Guru who will teach us things that cannot be done, should not be done. Okay. Then we will also have a Bhukti Guru, a Guru who teaches all the school teachers and others who teach us the Laukika knowledge, the worldly knowledge, which is important for us to survive in this world, to earn, right, Vittarjana, to earn money so we can sustain ourselves and our family. Then getting a Mukti Guru and a Divya Guru is absolutely decided by the Divine Mother. She's the Guru Mandal Rupini. Based on the efforts that we continue to put, she will cross our path with those gurus who might be in the body, who might not be in the body, but still their energy continues to go around, therefore giving Swapna Sandeshas. Therefore, they'll continue to guide through their Sukshma Sarira. Okay? And I personally have experienced some of these things. I only talk through my experience. I don't talk from whatever the books and other things say, because naturally I can confidently speak through my first-hand experience. And I have been initiated through Swapna mantras, multiple times when Mother chose to take me to a different mantra, different path. So that's the experience I speak from. Now, today we'll talk about this 90th 91. Before we talk about those slokas, let's talk about the meditation technique that will activate the Sushumna Nadi. We have Ida and Pingala connected to both the nostrils, but the nostrils, they are balancing the Ida and Pingala, Surya and Chandra Nadi. But the in-between Sushumna is the path of the Mother Divine. So imagine your body when you are infusing, sit as straightly as possible whenever you do this, and starting today, whenever you have time, keep doing this, preferably as when you are when your belly is full with food, don't try to do this. It won't work. It will have repercussions also. When your tummy is half empty or predominantly empty, for example, I haven't eaten anything from the morning. It's almost noon here in India. So I can do to realize the benefit. That's the reason eating in moderation is always recommended for meditation. Okay, when you eat in moderation, what is moderation definition? You shouldn't get the belches. You shouldn't get an indication that your digestive system is being overloaded. And once you're done eating, you should still feel a bit hungry. Okay, now when you sit as straight as possible with your back, gently inhale prana, oxygen. When you are inhaling prana, you are infusing divine into your body. Therefore, your body continues to be Shivam and it's not becoming Shavam. Prana. When you are infusing, you should visualize that your body is in the shape of an Omkaram, the Pranava sound. When you are infusing, that Om is getting filled up with Prana Vayu based on where you are focusing, based on how your spiritual progress has been going on. You will see the Om in different colors, and it's absolutely okay. Okay, you should never force to see Om in one color only. Okay, when you are predominantly focused at Mooladharam, you will see Om in the color of brownish soil, right? The color of the soil, fertile soil. When your focus is at the Swadhisthana chakra, you will see Omkaram as the foamy, frothy, cloudy thing. That is basically a representation of water, not transparent, because your thoughts are the waves on the beach that are continuing to infuse. When you are at Manipura chakra, you will continue to see it in the form of the orangish gold flame, okay, the Vaishvanara fire that is there in the navel, which continues to digest all the food and everything that we eat. Then when you are at Anahata Chakram, you will see a mix of colors like the peacock feather. Okay, and you will notice in this 91st Lokam Jagadguru mentions peacock feather for the same reason. When you basically are, the prana is going through Vishuddhi, and Vishuddhi is the most active for you, which is the junction of the throat, you will see it in the mix of bluish orangish flame. The bluish flame from Manipura chakra, the orangish goldish flame from the Manipura chakra, which continues to convert the energy in the body, which continues to empower the Vishuddhi chakras with the words converting the para, pashyanti, madhyama into vaikari, the speech that can be heard by others when we speak out. So that is a mix of orangish, just like the gas burner, when you turn it on, you see the bluish flame. That is the bluish flame that you will see. Nilakanta, that's the reason Shiva is called Nilakanta. That translucent, transparent, bluish, orangish tinges of flame with Omkar. When you are at Agya Chakram, you will see a bright fire, which, sometimes when I send the pictures of the Homa in the group, you will notice there is a radiance, Divya radiance that comes in the fire. Okay, that Divya radiance, normal fire and the fire that is illuminating, that is the kind of radiance, because Agya Chakram is where it takes the fire that is coming from down and is burning the Agyanam to convert the knowledge into wisdom that we can apply. Everybody has knowledge, just like ideas. Everybody has ideas. But execution is the key. When you can't execute, jadatvam. Avidyanam antastimiramihiradvyepanagri jadanam chaitanyastapakamakaranda shrutijari. All of us are filled with inertia, right? Like Newton realized and said, external force is required. That external force is nothing but parashakti. Okay, therefore, our spirituality captures everything that science says. Yeah, that's the reason Albert Einstein said, "When where science stops, spirituality begins." Yeah. Now that is Agya Chakram. When you are focused, or when your consciousness naturally goes onto the Sahasratalam, you will see a brilliant form of Surya Koti Samaprabha, as thousands of sunlight that will come, which will not hurt your eye. If you look at the normal sun with your eyes, you will be forced to close your eyes in few seconds. But when you look at that inner beautiful brightness of thousand suns, you will be amazed at this Koti Surya Samaprabha. Okay? So based on that, wherever you're focusing, but never force. Okay? If you force, you will never be able to progress through, because you're trying to attach at one level. Each of the chakras are very, very important. Just because I talked about Sahasratara doesn't mean it's the most important. It is the gateway of connecting the body to the divine, the Atma to the Paramatma. But you can't get to the gateway forcefully. That's what the pyramid meditation does. That's the reason it's dangerous. Okay? It will imbalance the energies in the body. So if you're not prepared properly, then pyramid will do the most damage. If you're prepared properly, it will do the most justice. Okay? Rather than trying to accelerate things, going with the nature, yoga, boga, so we don't get into roga. When we go involve at the pace of nature, we will continue to have yoga and boga, and roga will stay away. Okay? Now, when you infuse prana based on where your consciousness is beating as a pulse internally, you are, the gaze should be, you have closed your eyes, you should be looking in between, with the closed eyes, in between the eyebrows, the third jnana netram. Gently, don't forcefully close eyes like this, gently close, and the eye will be a bit open, that you will not see because you're not forcefully closing, but you can't see anything outside. Internally, the gaze is focusing on eyebrows. Infuse the prana. Now, sitting straight, you have to the Brahmari Nadam. When you are infusing, where is this Brahmari Nadam coming? This is the dot on the Omkaram. When you are gently exhaling, before you exhale, when you are inhaling, imagine that Om is getting filled up, the Om shape, with whatever naturally comes to your mind. Water, fire, whatever naturally comes. When you are exhaling, imagine there is a flame that is starting at the base of your spine, where the tailbone is, in between the hips, the tailbone that touches the ground. There is a gentle fire. When you are exhaling, that fire with your exhale is spreading all the way from Mooladharam to Swadhisthana to Manipuram to Anahatam to Vishuddhi to Agya to Sahasratalam. When you are saying before you say this Bindunadam, internally Om, O part before the Bindu should be internally heard, not pronounced out. Inhale, internally Om, but I'm just chanting it out so you know. But internally you say, before you say the when you are saying this Bindu Nadam, you are supposed to visualize A fire that is in the shade of goldenish orange yellow. Okay, a fire that is going from bottom of the spine all the way to the brain. When you are concludes, that's when you see that fire is getting fired up like a lightning. Okay, but this is sustained lightning, where the lightning is, you are meditating, so the lightning pauses for you, and that lightning is in the brilliant light of yellowish, goldenish orange, which is the Sushumna Nadi. When you do this, it does the Sushumna Sodhana. It basically cleanses the Sushumna Nadi. When the Sushumna Nadi is cleansed, it is the road is being readied for Mother Divine to ascend up. And that's essentially what we are talking about here. Okay. Now the 90th and 91st sloka will come to it. Dadhane dinebhya. Let me actually read. Dadane dinebhya Shremani Samasanusarshim Amandam Soundarya Prakaramakarandam Vikarim Vikarati. Tavasmin, I'm keeping it on the computer and book, but on the online, there are many mistakes that come through. So since I don't have my glasses on, I'm trying to keep it on the bigger font on the computer, but there's a mistake there online. Dadane dinebhya Srimani Samasanusarusim Amandam Soundarya Prakaramakarandam Vikarati Tavasmin Mandaras Tabakastubuke Yatu Charane Niman Majjiniva Karana Charanai Shat Charanatam. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so what is it saying? Dadhane Dinebhya, to the Dinas. Okay, Dadhane, the one who blesses the Dinas with the boons and varas. Who is a Dina? The one who is born with a human life but is not realizing the full potential of human life. And now this daughter or son has come to the 91st slokam of Soundarya Lahari, or 90th slokam of Soundarya Lahari, finishing 89 slokas. Does not happen just because you woke up and said, okay, I'll start learning Soundarya Lahari, I'll make an attempt to understand. You have done some great good deeds in your past lives, in this life, where Mother is allowing you to understand her, the Sabda Rupam. If Mother were to be captured in the form of sound, that is what Soundarya Lahari is often represented as. Dadhane Dhinebhya Shriyamanisa Masanu Sarusim. She will fulfill the desires that are to do with this material world, and she will give us Aishwarya that will do with spirituality, materiality, desires, everything will be fulfilled, dharmically. And it says, Tavasmin Mandaras Tabakastubuke Yatu Charane. What does it mean? Tavasmin Mandaras Tabakastubuke Yatu Charane. How are your feet are like a bunch of mandara flowers. Tavasmin Mandaras Tabaka Subaghe. Okay. Your feet are like a bunch of mandaras. Why mandaras? We keep saying lotus, we keep saying others, but mandaras tabaka. Mandara flowers have the pollen. When you touch the mandara flower, you get painted or you get dusted with the pollen. Okay, the fine dust of pollen from mandara. The second shlokam of Soundarya Tani Yamsum Pamsum Tava Charana Panke Ruhabhavam. From your feet, Mother, the dust is sprinkled like the pollen of Mandara. Jagadguru is connecting it back to the 90th slokam. Your feet are like the bunch of Mandaras. Why bunch of? It's not, just a mild pollen dust that will fall from your feet. When I can meditate and can continue to keep my head at your feet and hand under your feet, my hand will be filled with that pollen dust, the fine dust that I can sprinkle on my head. So I will become equivalent to Trinity because the Trinity gets the power to do their jobs by sprinkling the dust under your feet on their heads, like the second slokam says. Niman Majjiva Karana Charanai Shatcharanatam. This is where Jagadguru keeps the secret of Sri Sailam. Mother Brahmaramba. He says, Karana Charanatai Shatcharanatam. Karana Charana. Karana is Antakarana. Antarmukha Samaradhya Bahirmukha Sudurlabha. Charana means the 5 Gyanendriyas are the Charanas. Karana is the one will, Antakarana, Manas. These 5 Gyanendriyas, which naturally will trigger the 5 Karmendriyas. Therefore, 5 is the number of Mother, Pancha Sankhyopacarani from Lata Sahasranamam. Okay? If I need to go somewhere, first the idea needs to come in my mind because I have seen something is triggering me, my thought, therefore, that idea, Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, again from Soundarya Lahari, Lata Sahasranamam. Now, these 5 Gyanendriyas, which are the seeds or the roots of 5 Karmendriyas, 5 Gyanendriyas plus Manas are the Shat Charanatam, becomes the 6 limbs of the honeybee. And I am the honeybee with the 6 limbs that is constantly going around the Bringa, the flowers that you and Father are, to basically drink the nectar from your feet. Like a honeybee drinks the nectar and converts it into honey, I want to listen to the stories, the stotras, the stutis, the Puranas about you and Father and the whole family, Vishnu's Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. All the gods are your kids. Andakasura, Rakshasa, Ravana. Ravana also prayed to you, one of the greatest devotees. I want to know all those stories. When I'm knowing those stories and I'm understanding the essence of those stories, from that nectar, from the Purana, from the Stotram, Stuti that I'm listening to, learning, chanting, I am converting the essence of that Stotra, Stuti, Smriti into honey. Therefore, Jagadguru is comparing ourselves with a bee that should continuously go around the divine parents to continue to drink the nectar from their feet in order to convert the nectar into honey in our mind using antakarana. And the way you'll be able to convert the nectar that you are drinking with your karmendriyas and gyanendriyas is when you continue to apply and stir it with your manas. How is this slokam applicable to me? That's what this 90th slokam talks about. Now coming to the 91st slokam. Padanyasa krida parichaya mivarabdu manasaha skalantaste kelam bhavana kalahamsana jahati atastesham siksham subhagamani manjira ranita salada chakshanam charnakamalam charu charite. Beautiful. We go from back. Okay. In this slokam, the meditation that I discussed briefly earlier with Sushumna Sodhana comes. Okay. We'll start from back. Charana Kamalam Charu Charite. Charu Charite. Charite is history. Charu is Nirmalam, very pure, no dot. Charu Charite. Charana Kamalam, your lotus feet, O mother. Okay. Te Kelam Padanyasa Krida Parichamivarantum. So the essence is here Jagadguru is taking us to the Antapuram of mother and father, which is mother's administrative city, Chintamani Griha, where she is sitting as Raja Rajeshwari. Here, Jagadguru is talking about Maha Kailasam, the innermost chambers of Maha Kailasam, where father and mother spend time alone. Okay, this is their bedroom garden, their bedroom balcony where they spend time in isolation. No kids, no gatekeepers, no servants, nobody's allowed. It is their time, in their privacy. That is the place. In the garden, the Antarangika garden of mother and father, there are hamsas called Kala Hamsas. That's what Jagadguru says here in the second line. Skalante, skalante the kelam, skalante ste kelam, bhavana kala hamsana jahate. Kala hamsa, kala, okay, akula, kala. In Lalita Sahasranam we get kala hamsas are basically those hamsas. Swans have a beautiful gait. That gait no other animal has. And swans often are compared to have the gait of the mother divine. But these kalahamsas, when mother is walking towards father, and both of them are walking with hand in hand in their balcony, sitting and discussing the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. And when mother was, father was still in his sabha, mother came back and she was meditating on Vishnu Sahasranama. And when father came, father was trying to talk to mother, not realizing that she is meditating on Vishnu Sahasranama. This is not the Vishnu Sahasranama that you and I continue to read, that has come from Bhishmacharya. This is the Divya Sahasranama of Vishnu that is accessible only to some of the great siddhas in the Himalayas and other lineages, okay, which is not documented anywhere, which was chanted by mother, right, looking at her brother. And mother is meditating. Then Shiva turned and said, "Why is Parvati so silent?" And realized, oh, she's meditating. And then, as mother opened her eyes, she said, "I was meditating on Vishnu Sahasranamas." Why should mothers meditate on Vishnu Sahasranamas? Vishnu is the Stitikara. He needs Shakti. When Shakti thinks of Vishnu, he'll continue to become filled with rasam. Otherwise, Vishnu, fulfilling all the boons, will become nirasam. When mother is thinking of somebody, then she is basically infusing energy into them. Okay, that's what it means by mother meditating on Vishnu Sahasranama, means infusing Vishnu with infinite. Sahasra means infinite, not thousand. Okay, Sahasranamas means infinite energy, so he'll continue to be able to fight the Rakshasas, maintain the Stitikara Tattvam, keep taking the avatars, and balance dharma in the world. That's where he gets his energy from. We have discussed this in Madhu Kaitaba, Samharam also. Right? Therefore, though Vishnu kills Madhu and Kaitaba, mother is called Madhu Kaitaba, Samharini, right? And Bhanjani, Madhukaitaba Bhanjani is mother, not Vishnu, because Vishnu's energy comes from mother. That is the secret of mother meditating on Vishnu Sahasranama. Then Divine Father says, "Oh, my dear Prane, for the whole Vishnu Sahasranama, rather than chanting all of it, Sri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane." When you keep chanting Sri Ram, Sri Ram, Sri Ram 3 times, rather than chanting on the whole 1,000 names, you will get equivalently, you will infuse the same amount of energy to Vishnu, because Vishnu can't wait for you to finish all the 1,000 Sahasranamas. That is the secret meaning there. Because Rakshasas are constantly attacking. Okay? And Vishnu is the god who has done Namakam on Lord Shiva. Not a lot of people know this. Okay? Chamakam has been done by Daksha. But Namakam has been done by Vishnu to pray to Lord Shiva. And Vishnu, being very, very intelligent, he put a word that this prayer can own. So when Namakam is chanted, the gods are asking Lord Shiva to protect from Rakshasas, the Santanam of Daityas. Okay, in Namakam, there is a word that says, protect us from Daityas or Diti's kids. Therefore, though Rakshasas have access to Namakam, they can't chant because they can't ask Lord Shiva to protect them from themselves. That's how tactfully and strategically Vishnu has given Namakam, that continues to be the most powerful prayer in which Om Namah Shiva Panchakshara has been revealed. Okay? Now, when they are sitting in their private garden, and father and mother are holding hands and walking around, discussing what is happening across the cosmos. How are their kids progressing? How are some people still struggling? What is it they need to do? Whom should they send their way? Like, they sent a Haigriva to Agastya's path. Who should be sent? What should they do? All these plans. Then, when they are walking gently, these Kalahamsas started following mother with their beautiful gait. And then they realized, oh my God, the whole cosmos says our gate is beautiful, but mother's gate is so beautiful. They are scared that they don't want to cross paths with the feet of father and mother, not to disturb them, because they have the privilege of being in the inner gardens pools. Okay, and when Shiva is in Sabha, mother continues to place with his Kalahamsas. Who are these Kalahamsas? Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ramana Maharshi, okay, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Chandrasen Ji, like, many Paramatmas like Sringeri, Jagat Gurus, Adi Shankaracharya Sishyas, okay, and many, many Mahatmas that are still alive, like, Om Swamiji, who has witnessed Mother Goddess. These are all Kalahamsas that she continues to play with, because why is she going to play with? She is Lalita. She's very playful, and she continues to teach them how they can continue to infuse the methods, rituals to the world in order to help them become spiritual. A Vivekananda, a Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, a Kavyakanta Ganapati Mahamuni, a Ramana Maharshi, a Trilanga Swami, and Annamacharya, Tyagaraja, Muthuswami, Kabir Das, Tulsi Das, Mirabai, right? Vengamamba, all these Maha Avatar Babaji, Sri M, right? Maheshwarnath Babaji, many Siddhas, Devraha Baba, many of these are the Kalahamsas. And how did they become the Kalahamsa? Using the meditation I spoke about earlier with all of you. And here it basically talks about, there's one line where it says, where is the word? I'm just looking at it, right? Subhagamani Manjira Ranita. It basically says when the Hamsas are following your and father's feet, Subhagamani Manjira. The anklets on your feet are making small, gentle cling, 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 cling sound. Cling is also a bijakshara of mother. And the Hamsas are following that sound, which essentially means when you start focusing inward, you will hear the bijaksharas and bija mantras. The first sound that you will hear is sound of nada, from which everything comes, into which everything goes. Okay, this is the 91st slokam, which essentially says when we talk the 90th and 91st slokas, our Gyanendriyas, Karmendriyas, 5 plus 1 Manasu becomes a honeybee, goes around the Divine Father and Mother, listening to their stutis, stotras, continues to drink that nectar, and by sitting in one place, meditating on the stories, stotras, stutis, smritis, that nectar becomes honey that we save as our spiritual bank balance, as our punya karmas that we will continue to spend whenever the time comes, right? And the mantra becomes an ATM card for you. Without you asking what needs to protect you, it will continue to protect you. A mantra that becomes your mitra, constantly walking along with you. You keep chanting those names. Unknowingly, if you sit someplace doing something, that mantra, that nama, those namas will come to your mind. That is the state where a mantra becomes a mitra, right? Once that mitra continues to fill you with joy, ecstasy, it becomes sumitra. Okay, that's the reason one of the Rama's mother's name is also Sumitra. Okay, and Rama's favorite, in fact. Okay, and when The secret in the slokam, 91st slokam, is Jagadguru is saying, when you continue to meditate on Mother, she will playfully teach you the next steps by sending either a guru in physical form, cosmic form, whatever form, our way, enabling and empowering us on the next steps. Do not rush through, just like the swans are in no rush. They walk gently. And those swans, no matter how gentle they are, which means no matter how big you have become, like a Paramahamsa, you still have a lot to follow by following Mother's feet. But since you have reached that state, you are now given access to their internal bedrooms and gardens where nobody else dwells. Which is that internal bedroom and garden? Your spinal cord with all the chakras. As Mother ascends from the Kundalini in the Kunda, goes across these chakras, Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipurana, Hata, Vishuddhi, Agya, and Sahasrara. As she ascends, your Sushumna Sodhana will continue to progress you through, and you will see the union of mother and father, where they'll sit together and start revealing the different techniques of meditation. If you're able to listen to this slokam, whether live or recorded, that means in somewhere you have some good karmas that are enabling you to go inward in order to find the divine in you, so you can continue to enjoy that nectar, which we call Amritam. The reason this nectar is called Amritam is the death to the physical body cannot do anything to the spiritual bank balance. It will come back and continue until you become one with Parashakti and get into moksha. Therefore, spirituality is always a continuation from one janma to another. That bank balance is important for us to keep feeding and loading. Okay. This is a brief attempt at the 90th and 91st slokas. We will discuss the next slokas in the next class. We will conclude the class with Mangala Sasana. Om Namaste Astu Bhagavan Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaya Tripurantakaya Trikagnikalaya Kalagni Rudraya Nilakantaya Mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Shriman Mahadevaya Namaha. जय 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 शंभो जम्बित पूर्वदेव प्रणतपद सरोज द्वंद्व निर्द्वंद बंधो जय 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 जन्मस्तेम संहार कार्पण्य सुगुणमूर्ते पालयास्मान् प्रपन्नान् मधुमुखं बलगदपाङ्गरेकमखण्डितानन्दकर प्रसादं विलोकन विस्फुरदात्मभाव समेगत श्रीगिरि सार्वभौम गौरङ्गपाणिकरणामधुसासक्लेशदात भवत्यसौ श्रीगिरिभाग्यराशि सन्ध्यारम्भ विजृम्भितं श्रुतसरस्तानान्तरादिष्टं सप्रेम भ्रमराभिरामस्कृतसद्भाषणा भोगेन्द्रावरणं समस्वमनं पूज्यं गुणाविष्कृतं सेवे श्रीगिरिमल्लिकार्जुन महालिंगम् शिवा आलिंगितम यानुं पुराण सखी व्याख्यात्मा परिपालना जगतम आपतावतारावळि दुष्ट ध्वंस दर्शन नाना सदा श्री शैलगणवासिनी भौतमय श्रेयस्करी भ्रामरी यत्तेज परमानंदकलम नाना स्फुरन्नभूतं भावचराचर जगदत्ते महिष्ठाचरय सा साक्षात् ब्रह्मराम्बिका शुरसखी श्रीशैलवासो सुखा दिश्यादाशित लोकल प्रतिका श्रेयां सिभूयं शरणं तरुणेन्दु शेखर शरणं मे गिरिराजकन्यका शरणं पुररेवता उपोषणं नान्यदुपयं देवतं मा कांताय कांताय कामितार्थप्रदायिने श्रीगिरीशाय देवाय मल्लिनाथाय मंगलम कराचरणकृतं वा कर्म वाक्कायजं वा विहितमविहितं वा सर्वमेतत्क्षमस्व शिव शिव करुणाब्दे श्री महादेव शंभो. That's the reason, we have to pray to Brahmari Devi of Sri Sailam, where Mother has come in the form of Brahmaramba. So she can turn our Gyanendriyas, therefore the Karmendriyas and Manasu, towards inward. Stay blessed, and we'll discuss in the next class. Sree Maathrey Namaha.